So if our works are made out of hay, stubble, it will get burned. But you know what will be left behind? Gold and silver. So all our works will be tried by the fire. Daniel chapter 7, verse 10, a fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. And notice this, thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set, and the books were opened. So this is the thing that when the Jewish tradition does this, and this is as the Lord commands it, and as He shows us this word, these are the rehearsals about the opening of the books. Beheld then because of the voice. You see, that's why He gave us the book of Daniel. That's why He gave us the book of Revelation. It's not just there so that we can just appreciate the wonderful poetry or the wonderful literary whatever benefits we can get of, because it's showing us this is the rehearsal of those events that are about to take place. I beheld then because of the voice of the great words that were horn, which the horn spake. I beheld then till the beast was slain, and his body destroyed and given to the burning flame. So you can see this is the books were being opened. And Revelation 5 speaks, and beheld, I heard the voice of many angels round about the throne, and the beast, and the elders, and the numbers of them was 10,000 times 10,000s, and thousands of thousands. Wow! So don't be surprised when thousands upon thousands of angels and people come together, because we know that we're rehearsing for this event to happen. And Revelation 20:11, and I saw a great white throne, and him sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heavens fled away, and there was found no place for them. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God, and the books were opened. And another book was opened, which is the book of life, and the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books according to their works. We will all be tested or tried. Okay? It's about the opening of doors. So Revelation 4 says, after this I looked, and behold, a door was opened in heaven, and the first voice which I heard was as it were a trumpet. You see this feast of trumpets. Talking with me, which said, come up hither, and I will show thee things which must be hereafter. And it's also about the opening of the gates. Psalm 24, lift up ye everlasting doors, open ye gates, lift up your heads, and the King of glory shall come in. Who is this King of glory? The Lord strong and mighty, the Lord mighty in battle. Lift up your heads, O ye gates. Even lift them up, ye everlasting doors, and the King of glory shall come in. It's about opening of gates, that the Lord may enter therein. And not only that the Lord may enter therein, but also Psalms 119, open to me the gates of righteousness. I will go into them, and I will praise the Lord. This gate of the Lord into which the righteous shall enter. This is about the gates, the opening of the gates. And in that day shall this song be sung in the land of Judah. We have a strong city. Salvation will God appoint for walls and bulwarks. Open ye the gates, that the righteous nation, which keepeth the truth, may enter in. Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusteth in thee. This is the gates opening for the Lord to come in and for us to enter therein. So this is the celebration that they celebrate. It's known as the opening of gates, opening of books. And then Zephaniah 1:4, the great day of the Lord is near. It is near and hasteneth greatly. Even the voice of the day of the Lord, the mighty man shall cry there bitterly. That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, a day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced city, against the high towers. Anything that's built up, strong and mighty in this earth, it will be a day of darkness and gloominess. It will be a day of the trumpet call. So that's the Yom, the judgment. Then the Yom HaKaseh, the hidden day. This is wonderful. It's also known as the hidden day. As darkness and gloom comes about, judgment coming in, it's also known as the hidden day. What is the hidden day? Zephaniah, gather yourself together, ye gather together, O nation not desired. Before the decree bring forth, before the day pass as the shaft. Remember those things that we mentioned. And before the day of the Lord's anger come upon you, seek ye the Lord, all ye meek of the earth, which have wrought this judgment. Seek righteousness, seek meekness. It may be, ye shall be hid in the day of the Lord's anger. That we will be hidden from the anger of the Lord. So this is a day also for God's people Because, as we go through the feast and rehearsing all these things, we begin to understand that we are being called to align ourselves with the Lord so that we will be hidden in this day of the Lord's anger. Isn't that wonderful that this is also a day for us, that when the Lord's anger comes upon the earth with all the fortified cities and big towers will be destroyed. And as the destruction will be going on this earth, we will be hidden from the anger of the Lord. Hallelujah. For Gaza shall be forsaken. That's another key word. What is Gaza? Gaza. It says before the decree, before the day, before the fierce anger of the Lord, before the day of the Lord's anger come upon you, before this great and terrible day of the Lord, Gaza will be forsaken. Gaza is a part of Israel. It is appointed to the tribe of Judah. In the year 2005, just barely, not more than 10 years ago, it was abandoned, it was given away, it was forsaken, it was given to the Palestinians. The Jews living there were given an edict to leave the place, that their homes will be destroyed, their communities will be destroyed, that they were rounded up on that day, that they will be taken away from that place, from Gaza, where they settled. And it's forbidden for any of them to stay there. It is now today the area of the Palestinians. It's known as the Gaza Strip. It is where all the rockets are being fired to Israel. And before this day, before which day? Before 2005, this happened. Gaza will be forsaken. I'm sensing that, all of those things prophesied in the Old Testament, Zephaniah, about this, especially for Gaza, this is really a signal, big sign. Big sign. Gaza is forsaken, 2005. By the way, it happened in August, and in August also, what happened right after this day, they spotted a weather disturbance in the Gulf of Florida, which became a Category 5 storm known as Katrina, because it was the U.S. who really was pushing Israel to give this land away for peace, the land for peace deal. And it happened on the 9th of August. The 9th of August. And let's notice the 9th of August, or the 9th, it's not necessarily the 9th of August, it's the 9th of Av. Okay? And the warning has gone out before the day of the Lord's anger. And Gaza was betrayed on the 9th of Av in 2005. The spies rejected the land on the 9th of Av. The spies that spied the land, when they came back, the 12 of them, you only remember the 2 of them, Joshua and Caleb. All the 10, you probably don't remember their names. Nebuchadnezzar destroyed the temple of Jerusalem on the 9th of Av. Babylonian came to Israel and took over the temple, took all the treasures of the temple and brought it to Babylon. It happened on the 9th of Av. Rome destroyed the temple also on the 9th of Av. The Jews were kicked out of England in 1290 on the 9th of Av. You see how God's calendar, somehow God is, He's very consistent. Looking at it, the Jews were kicked out of Spain in 1492 on the 9th of Av. These are the Sephardic Jews, which many of them came over to Mexico, and many of them found their way to the Philippines, 1492. So you might be, even some of us may be descendants of the Jews that came out of Spain. So if you want to know, there's a website called the Sephardic.com. Sephardim.com. They have the list of all the last names of all the Jews that came out of Spain in 1492 and went about different places in the world. And some of them made their way to the Philippines. If you have somehow a calling, you just want to go back to some roots, like you just really want to go to Israel, you want to go to Jerusalem, who knows? you may be having some sort of a bloodline, a Jewish bloodline. Very strong possibility. Remember in the book of Revelation, it speaks about that there will be 144,000 Jews that will be sealed, 12,000 from each tribe. So these are God's people who are Jews. And if you look around and you count, maybe you can ask Siri, what is the population of Messianic Jews, which are Christian Jews? Because these are the people who will be marked, 144,000 of them, in Jerusalem in the book of Revelation. I read the book so literally, so I'm sorry. Some of you might want to do it other ways, but I first look at the literal meaning of it. And Siri gave me an answer, or gave me some websites, and gave me some figures. Said anywhere from 5,000 to 15,000 Messianic Jews existing today. Then when I read that, I said, Lord, there's 144,000. Where are the rest? You're coming soon. So who knows, maybe if you feel like going to Israel, Rosh Hashanah, September this year, go. Get a mark, maybe you might get your mark there in Jerusalem. And you will be sealed. And you will be going out as witnesses throughout the world. And you will proclaim the gospel of the Lord. Proclaim the gospel of the kingdom. That is your calling. Why not? So go there just anyway. Maybe an angel will descend upon Jerusalem that day on the blowing of the trumpets, blowing of the Yom Teruah, and you will get the mark. There are Chinese Jews, there are Indian Jews, there are Russian Jews, there are all kinds of Jews all around the world. We went to Jerusalem, we went to different places. There was an Indian guy, he was a Jew. There was an African guy, he was a Jew. There was a Chinese guy, he was a Jew. And they found themselves, because they traced all their bloodlines, and they found that they had Jewish blood. Okay? Why not? So if you have that urge, go with the Spirit. World War I started 9th of Ab. Grabe, no? All this, 9th of Ab, 9th of Ab. Hitler's proclamation to kill the Jews was on the 9th of Ab. So, this is the day hidden. For the time of trouble, he shall hide me in his pavilion. The secret of his tabernacle shall he hide me. He shall set me upon a rock. And come, my people, enter down into thy chambers and shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself, as it were, for a little moment until the indignation be overpassed. So we'll be hidden with the anger, with the wrath of God. So I don't know whether the rapture is going to happen before the wrath, or during the wrath, or before the wrath, or somewhere in between. But I know I'll be hidden. So if the wrath of God comes, I'm not subject to the wrath of God. That's in the scriptures. For we are the children of God. We are not subject to God's wrath. I know, because I'll be hidden. That's the first wonderful assurance from in the scriptures. We can discuss tribulation, raptures and all those things, but I'm already assured I'm not subject to the wrath of God. It doesn't necessarily mean to me now whether I'll be raptured here because the wrath of God is coming. I know the wrath of God is coming because He's really angry with the sin of the world, but I know I'll be hidden because of Yom HaKaseh. So when the wrath of God, when the anger of God comes upon this earth, Lord, this is my Yom HaKaseh. I will be hidden from your anger. Hallelujah. So remember that word. This is the day, Yom HaKaseh, the hidden day. For behold, the Lord cometh out of this place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth shall also disclose of her blood, and shall no more cover his slain. It's about the raising, resurrection of the dead. I'll get to that. But this is the most beautiful thing. Ha-kedoshim. Ha-kedoshim. Remember that word. Ha-kedoshim. This is the wedding. The Feast of Trumpets, the fall feast, is also known as the Ha-kedoshim, which is the wedding. So here it is, the rehearsal for the wedding. We need to know what will be happening so that we will be rehearsing. And who knows, at the rehearsal, at this particular year, the groom comes. So we are, as the bride, ready to meet the groom. That is the traditional hapa of the Jews. That's called the hapa. That's why many of us follow that. We have the garden wedding, we have this thing. But anyway, if you want to know, that's the hapa. H-U-P-P-A. Hapa. So what is this wedding?